Okay, so related Sage code. This is an option that I think that you should be investigating. It goes slow though. So my recommendation is to visit the website. When you get to the website, my recommendation is to download the application. If you don't want to download the application, you can of course use the online version of Sage, which is the CoCalc Instant Sage Worksheet. I'm going to recommend downloading it though. If you download it, I want to say at the top of the page, I would definitely go to, like for most people, it's going to be Windows or Mac OS. If you're a Windows user, go to this website here. If you're a Mac user, go to this website over here. I'm going to show you the Mac because I'm running a Mac. Clicking on that link over there. The current version is 9.5. What you're going to do is download the package. What I would recommend is to download the package for your particular operating system. Right, you're running OS 10, certainly if you're going in the Mac. The question is what processor you're using. Go to the Apple menu, about the Mac. You're going to see the chip. I'm running an M1, which is the ARM64. All right. Other people might be running what's called an x86 or an Intel chip. So if you're running the ARM chip, the M1, that's the latest version of Apple's processors, you would download this version here. If you're running an older version of a Mac and you're running on an Intel, you download this one over here. You click this, it installs like an application. I already have it on my computer. I'll show you what it looks like when it's installed. Let me do that. And I'll switch over to the Finder. And let me go to Applications. Your application folder's got a bunch of applications in it. And one of the applications that's in is called SageMath, right over here. Right now, I downloaded the application. I installed it on this computer. I'm going to double click this and I'll show you what happens. What happens is I get a choice, run it from a terminal or from a Jupyter notebook. There's two choices there. My preferred choice is the terminal. It's the easiest thing for me. Your option is terminal or Jupyter notebook. A Jupyter notebook is up on a website. I tend to like the terminal. To me, it's quicker and easier to use. So I'm going to launch the terminal. The terminal will launch, and then it's going to open up a session of Sage. All right, let me go back to the notes, and I'll talk about what we've just done over here. This is the first time you're seeing Sage in a section. Each section will look the same, though. Right? What is that going to be? Basically, content, examples, exercises, and then Sage. Sage is a good thing to start looking at. All right. So over here, let me just go back to my terminal. This is typically what you're going to be doing over here. You're going to be typing the code in. What code? You see it over here. Reset the first thing. I'll do that. What's the next thing? Well, I'll type in A, B, X, Y is a variable. That's VAR. And the variables are A, B, X, and Y. Okay, I know people get tired in typing, and I don't like typing myself. This whole document was typed up, though, and it's a huge document. The whole thing was typed, all right? I realize some students are going to say, you know what, I just want to copy this. Let me do that. And I'm going to paste this in here. It spit back an answer to me. Right. I want to go through the problem with copy paste though. A lot of times you're going to copy something like this, and I'll go through that with you. I'm going to go back to the terminal, paste it in, and hit return. An error comes up. It's pointing at the error. It says an invalid character. Someone says, I don't understand why it's an invalid character. It's a single quote mark. This is like a slanted. So I got to go back and edit that. So I'm going to type over it. Now, you don't type over the whole thing, you just type in the right. Now, it's going to happen to you. You're going to copy paste and it's not going to work. You're going to have to look at the error code to find out why it's not working. All right? I just corrected it. Let's do a copy paste on this one over here. I got that. Now, someone says, I don't know why I did that. You did that because you just finished a whole bunch of problems. So, for example, if you go back over these problems over here. You might say to yourself, you know what? I want to try these out. I want to try doing these problems here. And you can. You can try every single one if you like. Right? Now, I'm going to say probably typing them in is more difficult than typing it in. All right? So writing it on a piece of paper, going through the work is probably a lot easier. But here's the deal. I mean, you can do it. You can type this stuff in. You're going to have to learn how to do that, though. For example, this one over here, number 8, if I were typing that in, I'm subtracting something from something. So 15, you must use the star as a multiplication symbol, plus x, minus 18, and I'm going to subtract, I'm going to subtract 41x cubed, that's star x cubed, minus 2x squared, okay, plus 13. I'm going to hit return. And what do I get? Well, you know what? I made a mistake in typing it. And so how'd you know that? Look at the answer. The answer is minus 26x cubed. That's not what I got there. So I'm going to hit the up arrow, and I'm going to edit this. What did I get wrong? Well, let's see. 15x cubed. I put down 15x squared, right? So I'm using my cursor. I'm going to back over that. Type in a 3. Hit the enter. Do I get the answer they say I should get? Minus 26x cubed, 2x squared plus x minus 31, right? I want to also just do another one to point out a common error that students make. Let me just scroll back pretty quickly here. And let me just look for something, common error people make. I'm looking for something that's going to be easy for me to type in. Every single problem seems like a tough problem to type, doesn't it? Really tough. You know what? I'm going to do something that's this one over here, but I'm going to get rid of the stars because in the original problem there were no stars, right? And yeah, I'm going to show you what happens. Error, syntax error. Now, by the way, sometimes I don't understand the syntax errors. A lot of times you're not going to understand it. But if it comes back with some wacky looking message like this and it says invalid syntax, you need to relook at your code. And one of the biggest mistakes students make is forgetting to put the star in. So it's really 15 times x cubed and 41 times x cubed. I'm inserting that, and 2 times x squared. Again, you'll learn as you go. This is a generic introduction to Sage. It's generic. This really applies to every single section. All right? So let's go back to the Sage code. It's right over here. And that's an introduction to this. What do? Website, download the software. After you download the software, launch the application. My recommendation is to run it from the terminal and then start typing the code that we provide to you. After you type the code that we provide to you, go back and look at the problem set again to see how it applies to that. Thank you for paying attention.